Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with another mail day. It's mail day number 79. I won't waste any time. Let's get cranking. As always, I've created a shareable link in my PWCC vault so you all can take a look at all of the cards that I have just now recently curated inside that vault. This is where I store my cards to keep them safe from alligators here in Louisiana and hurricanes and other nefarious things that could cause damage to cards. So here's our list. I think it's 15 cards today, so it's a big list, and some of these are actually pretty decent sized cards, some pretty big cards. It is 100% Jordan from start to finish. Card number one is going to be the 1995 Metal Silver Spotlight. This is a little known parallel. A lot of people aren't even familiar, or they may be flipping through their cards and not even realize that the Silver Spotlight is a parallel to the base version. This is what the back looks like. Very Metal Universe precursor-ish type card, and this is the first parallel from 1995 Metal, and it's called Silver Spotlight. I've got it pulled up. This is what the regular looks like. Okay, you see that on your screen? See how it's kind of a bronze copper type color behind it? This is what the Silver Spotlight looks like. Silver, so that's why it's called Silver Spotlight. So I've got that in a PSA 8 base and a PSA 8 Silver Spotlight. Those are covered. I still need to pick up the 10 of both. It's on my wish list. Don't worry. That's card number one, that 1995 Metal Silver Spotlight. 1995 Metal Nuts and Bolts. I have the PSA 10. I need the PSA 8. Now I've got the 10. I've got the 8, so I'm done. I can put that card to bed. 1995. That Nuts and Bolts, it's called Nuts and Bolts because down here you can see it's a subset card. It's got kind of nuts and bolts in the background. It's card number 212 in that same 1995 Metal set. Next card. I picked this one up. I wasn't familiar with it. I think I might have paid 10, 12, 15 bucks for it or something like that. I think I grabbed it in the PWCC Weekly, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 1995 Topps Gallery Michael Jordan Expressionists. And I thought it was cool because Jordan is trying to give the referee a T for not giving him a call. But it says the Expressionists on the side. It's got Jordan. You can even see the outline of it. It looks like Phil Jackson's head in the background. But pretty cool card. Never seen it. And again, it wasn't very expensive. Topps Gallery's got some pretty cool looking cards in it. With some pretty emotional facial features. This is another one. It's a PSA 8. Like I said, little baby card. Didn't have it, needed it, grabbed it. Same thing can be said for this one. I even, get this. This is how nerdy I am. I went and took my kids. We were in Mobile, Alabama for my daughter. She plays college soccer for Southeastern Louisiana, and we were up there to watch her play against South Alabama in Mobile. Well, the night before, we got up there early, and the night before I had my 8 and 9-year-old. I took them to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's like Ant-Man number 3 or something. I accidentally booked tickets or bought tickets to go see the 3D version. I hate 3D crap. I can't stand it. I'm too old. It gives me headaches. It actually wasn't too bad, but they gave me 3D glasses. And so I still have those 3D glasses that I stole from my daughter. She was keeping them. She thought they were cool. I know you're supposed to return them at the end of the movie, but I didn't. She kept them. So I brought them to work, and I tried to look at this card in 3D with 3D glasses. It didn't work at all. So I don't know if it was supposed to work, if the glasses are defective, or maybe it's like different technology because this is 30 years ago. But this card looks sort of like blurry to the human eye, like you should be wearing 3D glasses. But when I put the 3D glasses on, it did not make it any better whatsoever. But that's what this is. Since he first stepped onto the scene, I'm not even going to read it. But he caused a stir on the court. Although he's no longer playing, his jams will never be forgotten. And of course, he did come back to play. But this is from 1993 Upper Deck Pro View 3D, and this is a little teeny tiny PSA 8 card. Nothing crazy special there, but just a buzzkill. The 3D glasses, for me at least, did not work. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. A 1998 Upper Deck Hardcourt. This is the base card, number 23 in PSA 8 to go with my PSA 10. Pretty good looking card. Upper Deck Hardcourt was a pretty neat little set when Upper Deck started making a bunch of different little sets. Not sure why this graded an 8. Maybe it's that bottom left corner. Looks like a touch of white on that one, but looks pretty good from the front. Pretty good looking 8 right here, if you ask me. And a great picture of Jordan dunking in the black 23. Now one more little baby one. This is the one of my favorite little base subset cards. This is the Nestle Crunch Time card with Jordan in color, and then Gary Trent Sr. and Isaiah J.R. Ryder looking on, and I think that's probably Jarrett Jack. Wait, Jarrett Jack wouldn't have been around back then. I'm not sure who that is contested his shot, but everything's blacked out, black and white, and then and grayed out, and Jordan's eye popping red. Just a really cool card. Picked it up in PSA 8. I already have the PSA 10. 10, which is really cool. It's actually a little bit lower pop, but now I have the 8-10 pairing, which, as you guys know, that's one of my nerdy, ways that I collect Michael Jordan cards. Here's a cool one. So this is Jordan on the front, Kobe on the back. Some people slab it the other way around. This is the first card we're going to actually look up in Card Ladder. I got a chance to buy this great card from the great Frankie Rodriguez, and so I picked it up. Let's see. So this is what I have as far as pairings go. I've got the card you just saw, but I've also got the Refractor in BGS 10, which is a pretty cool card with the alien Sam Cassell, Garden Jordan, Kobe on the back. This is the Refractor M1 from 1998, finest mystery refractors in a BGS 10. Makes it kind of a special card, a pretty big card in my collection, to be quite honest with you. And then, of course, I picked up this little base in the PSA 8. So what does that mean? That means I need the PSA 8 Refractor and I need the PSA 10 base, which is actually probably a pretty expensive card. But that's my pairing that I've got working there. If we look it up in Card Ladder, again, ignore this first one. That's the Refractor. I paid $318 from the great Frankie Rodriguez, Frankie 3500 on Instagram. If you're not following him, follow him. One of Puerto Rico's finest dealers, maybe one of Puerto Rico's only dealers out there, but he's the king of the kings and knows anything and everything about Jordan cards. He's the guy that I go to ask questions about real, fake, where'd this thing come from. He might know more than Trading Card Database. So Frankie 3500, if you're not following him on Instagram, you must go follow him if you collect Jordan cards or any 90s cards for that matter. One of the best dealers in the world. Yes, the world. So I picked it up for $318. It looks like the last one sold for $330. The one before that was $401. The one before that was $324. So $318 net for him is probably a pretty good price for him. It's a really good price for me because it's the lowest out of the last three comps, significantly lower than this one that sold on eBay. So mine came in at $318. Pretty good deal. Of course, Frankie is as trustworthy as it gets. It showed up in my PWCC vault a few days later, and it's case closed. The next, also from Frankie, is a 2-card deal. He reached out to me. He knew I was collecting 8s. He picked these up. Dealers tend to pick up cards pretty often, and so I've got a few dealers now that are on the line. If they pick up PSA 8s, they know to call me first because I'll pay them a pretty fair price. And so Frankie did a deal for me on this one too. He was really high on his price on this one. He didn't realize how cheap this card was, and then I sent him the data. I picked this one up for $100. Now, this is not the ordinary 1997 Soaring Stars. This is the high-flying parallel with that denim background, a little bit darker, and of course the lettering is in black and it says high flying down the side. This is a much more rare parallel to the ordinary Soaring Stars. I'm going to show you my entire flock of Soaring Stars, okay? Here's what we got. I got a Soaring Stars, the entire flock. I've got the PSA 10 regular, another PSA 10 regular, another PSA 10 regular. I've got a PSA 10 Soaring Stars high flying, and then I've got this PSA 8 Soaring Stars high flying. So all I'm missing, I think, is the 1997 Soaring Stars regular base PSA 8, which is a very cheap card that I will pick up. I've got it pulled up here in the Card Ladder database. I paid Frankie $100. I probably overpaid for it. I've got it sorted here. The last high flying sold for $75. The one before that, $68. And then before that, $104, $86, $100, $175, $150, $160. So $100. Take it, Frankie. He's probably given me more than $40 extra worth of advice over the years. He's been an invaluable resource and educator for me, and one of the people in this hobby that I really look up to. Is kind of one of the OGs in the hobby, especially when it comes to Jordan stuff. Just full of information. So happy to grab that one. I do need to pick up the little bitty PSA 8 Soaring Stars base. Next is the Platinum Portraits that nobody seems to talk about. This is the 1996 metal Platinum Portraits, not the 97 metal Universe Platinum Portraits with the pinhole die cuts that's vertical. This is the horizontal 96 metal Platinum Portraits in a PSA 8. And you can see Jordan on the back. Considered by many as the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael has defined the class and competitiveness of the NBA for the last decade, achieving every honor and award possible. True, his airness has yet to lose any of the desire to win that burns within him. And then this one I picked up for, hang on, I'm going to find it. This is me, 302. So I picked this one up in the golden. You guys know I'm a big proponent of PWCC Weeklies, but I've been diving into these golden weekly auctions to pick up some of these Jordans that I need as well. I picked this one up for 302. Since I picked that one up on the same day, one sold on eBay for $290. A few days later, one sold for $330, so I was feeling pretty good. And then somebody came in and just stole this bitch right here on Golden. I don't know how this happened, but this one sold for $228. They somehow came in and swiped it. It makes me look like an idiot for paying $80 over comps, but it is what it is. I thought I was in good shape because the ones before my $302 pickup on Golden were $319, $375, $355, $285, and then you got to go way back. I don't know. It's Shaq. It's not even Jordan. $290. So I thought I was getting a really nice, a little bit below market value price, and it looked that way, and it was being substantiated with that $330, but that's an 8.5. And then this PSA 8 goes for $228. So that was a nice pickup for whoever picked that one up. Congratulations to that person. Next on the list is a 1991 Skybox Michael versus Magic. You guys are familiar with the Upper Deck Michael versus Magic. Well, this is the Skybox Michael versus Magic. A little bit higher print run, but both of them were printed out the ass. But this PSA 10, I think I picked up for $82 or something like that. I need to go back and make sure I shore up. I think there's like 6 or 7 1991 Skybox cards. They all have that white background in the back. I've got a lot of these to pick up in PSA 8 and PSA 10. The PSA 8s are going to be $10 each, so that's easily done. PSA 10s are a little bit more expensive. That Michael vs. Magic was about $80. And then this card, the only baseball card of Jordan that I truly actually care about. I needed this. I have it in a PSA 10. I need it in a PSA 8. Happy to grab it. It's a good looking PSA 8 copy if you ask me. It's not perfectly centered, but neither. That's why it's a PSA 8. And so just a cool card that brings back memories. The 1981 Upper Deck Baseball obviously was a hit because of this Jordan card, amongst others, and it's card number SP1 in the set. Very inexpensive card. Very inexpensive card. And then the next one, this one I did pay a few bucks for. $288 I paid for this 1998 Topps Apparitions number A15. There is a refractor version, which is significantly more expensive. This is the base version. You can see the back is the hard part on these. I've submitted some of these Apparitions. Shaquille O'Neal, most notably. There's some whitening over here on the top left edge. There's definitely some whitening on the top right edge and the top right corner and the top left corner. So not a perfect card, but the front looks great in my opinion. It looks really good. Corners and edges, centering, it's borderless, so it's really only so much you can do. Just a really cool card. The refractors are really a badass card, but this is just the base, and I've got this pulled up in Card Ladder. It's not in the database, but this is me here, 288, which I feel great about because the two right before that were 300 and 320, and then 275, then 350, then 350, then 300, then 420, then 350, then 420, then 313. So I felt really good picking it up at 288. I don't know, that seems really good to me. There's just not that many of those out there, to be quite honest with you. And I think that does it, guys. No, wait, I got a couple more. Needed the Baby from 1990 Hoops, All-Star number 5. I think I paid $10, maybe $12, something like that. Needed the 94 Flair base, number 326, PSA 8, 10, 12, $15, can't remember. A Collector's Choice base card, number 26 from 1996. It's pretty cool because it's got a top 5 all-time assists guy right here, Mark Jackson. You can see the Flying Dutchman, Rick Smits, right above Jordan's left forearm. This is Antonio Davis of the famous Davis boys, the Davis brothers, right? Antonio and Dale, even though they weren't related. And then Dennis Rodman in the background. And then way back there is Bill Winnington taking his time because he knows Jordan's going to finish and he's not passing to Winnington no matter what. But anyway, that's it. 1996 Collector's Choice. And that's it. So if we go back to the list, quick synopsis. Actually, I'm not going to do a synopsis. The biggest card that I picked up in here is probably this base finest Kobe Jordan PSA 8. Maybe the Platinum Portraits that I picked up from the great, from Golden, even though it looks like I overpaid for that. And then the Topps Apparitions from 1998. But some nice pickups there. Nothing crazy sexy. I do have some big stuff coming up. Stay tuned. I've got some big stuff coming up in the very near future. I've got a war chest that I've built up with a bunch of cards that I sold on Probstein, so I'm pushing forward. I missed out on a big 2012 gold PSA 10 Prism Lillard rookie card that I really thought I was going to get, but you know what that means is I've got about 18 grand left to spend on Jordan since I missed out on that Damian Lillard. So I'm going to do some damage with that, especially in the PSA 8 category. So lots of mail days coming up. A 15 card mail day here. You saw another mail day episode yesterday. If you just like to look at mail days, It's not an accident. It's not a typo. I got 79 of them just over the last like 15, 16 months. So if you just want to see cards coming in and just see a bunch of different cards and hear some idiot from Louisiana talk about them over and over and share my collecting journey, like I said, these videos may not appeal to everybody because it's me talking about my cards, but a lot of people like to watch them just because they learn more. And you're going to see some Jordan cards you've never seen before, because I'll be quite honest with you guys, some of these cards that I'm picking up, I've never seen before in my life. And I play dumb, and I tell you, if I've never seen a card, like for instance this Topps Gallery thing, I've never seen this card in my entire life. I had no idea. I just knew I didn't have it. I liked it. It was $10 until I grabbed it. But I do that all the time. So if you guys like videos like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon for notifications. Check out some of my other videos if you're new to the channel. Check out 2 of these videos that you're going to see on this end screen, and just watch a few in a row and see if you like my style, if you like the kind of stuff that I talk about on my channel. I do think that I have one of the more consistent channels out there for basketball card collecting, especially the Jordan stuff. Every Friday, not every Friday, but usually 2 out of 3 Fridays, you're going to get an Explore the Card episode where we'll take a Jordan card and we'll really dive deep into it, and we'll look at some of the history of it, some of the details, what it looks like, the pop, the prices, other cards that are comparable to that card. So lots of content out there for anybody and everybody. Watch a couple of these 2 videos on the end screen and kind of keep clicking through and see if you like my stuff. And if you do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. You will never see an ad in the middle of any of my videos, or at least not in the foreseeable future. So I try to keep the content to the content, and no tampon ads, no Viagra, no Cialis, no old people holding hands in the tubs. You guys always get a kick out of that when I talk about that. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching as always. Mail day number 79. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby, and peace.